All right, what's going on YouTube? This is BoxingWave. So this is going to be a quick prediction video on JoJo Diaz against Devin Haney coming up this weekend, this Saturday, where Haney is going to be defending his lightweight WBC strap. All right, and I won't be able to do live commentary this weekend. Apologize, I won't be here to do the commentary for the fight. Most likely, I won't be doing it for Tank fight, but I don't think there's really a point to do commentary for that kind of fight. That's an easy one for Tank. But this fight here is a pretty good fight. Most people view it as Haney's toughest challenge, right? And I made a poll basically having a little debate on whether or not it is his toughest challenge. Is it this or Jorge Linares? And it was pretty much 50-50. I actually did a video on this maybe a few weeks back when I spoke on this. A few weeks ago, maybe 3-4 weeks ago, where I addressed this fight when it was announced and whether or not JoJo Diaz is a tougher challenge than Jorge Linares. And I kind of explained the dangers between both fighters. I think Jorge being the natural lightweight, the guy that's been there, former champion, defending his titles there, bigger guy, faster hands, bigger punching power, where you have JoJo Diaz, who's younger, who's fresh, who's been more active. All right, won recently against Javier Fortuna. All right, so he's younger, he's fresher, he's busier, and most people feel that JoJo is the toughest challenge to Devin Haney up to this point in his career. All right, you can go either way with that one. I think they both bring different dangers. All right, but for this fight, and as I said in the previous video, I'm definitely going to piggyback on some of the things I said. I think the biggest thing in trying to figure out how this fight was going to go, like me doing film study, like I was doing some just a few minutes ago, me doing a little film study. If you don't know, JoJo Diaz is a southpaw fighter. And, this guy was mostly a career 126 pounder. He was a featherweight who moved up to super featherweight, won a title against Kevin Farmer, and then eventually recently moved up to 135 and had his one win against Javier Fortuna, who is a seasoned lightweight and who was a true top contender at 135. But JoJo is used to fighting southpaws. It's kind of weird because he's a southpaw that's used to fighting other southpaws. Out of his last 8 fights, if you go all the way back to when he lost to Gary Russell Jr., 6 out of those 8 fighters were southpaw. And when I say 6 out of the 8, I mean the 6 better fighters were southpaw. All right, the 2 other fighters are a little bit watered down compared to the other 6 southpaws that he had faced in between those years. So he's very good, very experienced against other southpaws. Where you have Devin Haney, who has a lot of fights in his pro career, hasn't really fought any southpaws. All right, I had to really go back and look at sparring footage. Okay, I even looked a little bit into the Shakur Stevenson, that classic sparring fight that they had years ago that was uploaded on Dante's Boxing Nation years back. And I think that sparring footage is like 7 years old at this point. All right, these guys, I think Haney and Shakur, they were around 16 years old, and they improved dramatically since then. So I couldn't really use that footage because as I see them both facing each other and fighting each other, I've seen them improve so much since that fight. There was a couple other sparring videos that I was able to find of Devin Haney sparring other southpaws, but nothing like on a level as a JoJo Diaz. All right, so we don't have much to work with as far as film study because JoJo hasn't really fought an orthodox fighter nowhere near on the level of Devin Haney's level, right? All those top dudes he fought, very good fighters, good defensive fighters as well. Kevin Farmer, you had Gary Russell Jr., of course. You got Javier Fortuna. You got some good fighters that is on his resume. It's just that most of them are all southpaws. So you don't have anyone there to really compare to Devin Haney, all right? And then on Haney, you don't have any southpaws there. So with that being said, just got to kind of wing it and go with whoever you think is the better talent between the two. Well, the obvious advantages is, Haney, he's younger, taller, the natural lightweight. He's been lightweight his whole career. He's naturally a bigger guy, longer reach advantage. And he knows how to use distance very, very well. So JoJo, being the shorter guy, the smaller guy, he's the guy that needs to come in and he needs to close the gap between the two. And that's going to be a very, very tough task because Devin Haney is one of the up-and-coming, more defensive, younger fighters in the game. You know, I only see him like really second to guys like Shakur Stevenson. Like he's really, really good defensively. You know, he's top-notch for his age and at his time. He's a top-notch defender already. All right, but he lets his hands go at the same time. So he's just not a pot shotter. All right, he does pot shot, but he puts in work. He throws a lot of punches, throws flurries, throws combinations, knows how to attack the body. He's pretty much a mixed bag. So with all that being said, JoJo being a shorter guy, with he doesn't have the reach advantage, and plus he's just a smaller dude. He's gonna have to close the gap between the two. And the thing with JoJo, when I watch his other fights, he's usually fighting guys like some of the other Orthodox fighters that I did watch. He's fighting guys that's like usually standing right in front of him, you know, and that's going to be another problem because Devin Haney is not that type of guy that's just going to be standing right in front of you, you know. Now, JoJo's strengths, I mean, he's definitely a dog. He boxes extremely well, good timing. And he's pretty durable. He seemed to be pretty durable. You know, he does get cut sometimes. He does. He has been cut several times over his left eye. So that's one of those things. Plus, you know, hopefully we don't get any head clashes here, but it's definitely possible when you're dealing with an orthodox fighter and a southpaw. All right. But Jojo Diaz is definitely going to have to try to, in my opinion, be very physical. He's a good body puncher. So if he gets in on Devin Haney, he definitely got to work the body. I think with JoJo, the key thing he needs to really do in this fight is kind of disrupt Devin Haney's rhythm. You want to kind of force him to get into a real fight with you, like a dog fight with you. You don't really want to just sit there and try to outscore Devin Haney, because Devin Haney it's just going to be more difficult trying to do that. All right. So with that being said, I'm expecting JoJo to try to be more physical. You want to catch Devin Haney slipping, try to catch him in between the exchanges and catch him with a good shot. All right. Possibly hurting him. All right. Devin Haney, on the other hand, he's a taller guy. He moves a lot. All right. He's a guy that, you know, the thing and the key and the major advantage that you're going to see with Haney, and I know he's fighting a southpaw this time, so his lead hand is going to be with JoJo's lead hand as well. But the thing with Haney is he's still going to be using that jab all of the time, all right? He's constant with that jab, all right? He's going to be using his lead hand to measure JoJo Diaz. He's going to be shooting jabs to that body, all right? And he's going to be measuring, he's going to be using that lead hand to measure JoJo Diaz. He's going to be punching over JoJo Diaz's lead hand, landing jabs. He's going to punch to the body with that jab. He's going to be measuring JoJo to shoot that straight right hand right down the pipe. So Haney is going to be really, really tricky because he's going to, you don't know what he's going to throw. All right. And he can win on points just like he was doing to Linares. It's the same thing. He's just going to be constantly using a jab, constantly shooting right to the body and up top. He's going to constantly do that. And at times, he's going to step in and try to throw some combinations. All right. So it's going to be hard to deal with him because he's pretty much a mixed bag. You don't know what he's going to keep doing. Like, he's going to switch it up. And again, JoJo is going to be very, very reactionary because he's going to be trying to catch Haney on his way out. Anytime he throws anything, Haney is going to be right out of the picture. He's going to be right outside of the danger zone. And JoJo is going to be trying to react and counter him. And Haney's not going to be there because, again, his defense, his reflexes, really, really, really sharp. JoJo just don't have that kind of defense. He doesn't have that kind of reflexes. And on top of that, when you're dealing with a taller, longer guy, that you still got to worry about his movement because he's going to be constantly moving, resetting himself. And JoJo, at some point, he's going to start having to follow him. And that's when he's going to start to get hit more, you know. And another thing with Devin Haney as well. Even if you try to get physical with him on the inside, attack the body, Haney is good at smothering his opponents on the inside. For the guys that's going to try to do the work on the inside, he's going to be protecting himself by smothering his opponent, which is JoJo, who is smaller than him, you know? And that's going to be another problem. And I think that that's part of the reason why I think Devin Haney is going to win this in a clear unanimous decision, because JoJo's offense is just not going to be enough. All right. I think Devin Haney is going to catch. He's going to be having he's going to be landing the more eye-catching shots, you know, and then he's going to be more active. He's going to be throwing more punches. All right. And I just think overall, you know, I think, like, again, I know we don't have much film of him fighting other southpaws. Okay, so that's one thing we could look at into going into this fight. But based on his body of work and JoJo's body of work, what I've seen between the both of them, I just think overall Devin Haney is the better, you know, the better talent between the two, the higher ceiling, and I think he's already better than JoJo. He's not even in his prime, but I already think he's better than JoJo Diaz, and I think he's gonna win clearly on this one. All right, I don't think this is going to be an upset like last week. You know, last week was a huge upset with Teofimo Lopez. But Teofimo Lopez has always been suspect when it came to his defense. All right, and he got exposed. Devin Haney is not the same fighter. All right, you know, people say what they want. They say that he's chinny. He doesn't hit hard enough. It's about winning rounds, and that's what he is an expert at, winning rounds. And he's going to secure those rounds, and I think he's going to secure the fight. And it's going to be unanimous. All right. So I have Devin Haney winning this one by unanimous decision. You know, don't be surprised if he is really dominant in this fight. Don't be surprised if he's able to hurt JoJo. But Haney likes to be explosive at times, but he's a safety first fighter at the very end of it. All right. So I have Haney. I hope you guys enjoyed the fight. Enjoy the breakdown. Smash the like button, share the video, subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.